Look at this tiny blue dot. This is home. Every person you've ever known, every story ever told, and our entire recorded history happened right down there. But to figure out exactly where we are in the universe, we need to find our true cosmic address. And to do that, we have to hit the zoom out button and leave the atmosphere behind. The first marker on our cosmic street is the moon, sitting about 384,000 kilometers away. If you could somehow point your car straight up into the sky and drive at highway speeds, you'd be sitting in the driver's seat for over 160 straight days before you finally arrived. Now, let's look at our own sun. It sits roughly 150 million kilometers away. To cover that gap in a standard commercial jet, you'd be flying nonstop for 19 years. Keep going past our rocky neighbor Mars and all the way out to the icy edge of our solar system where Neptune orbits, and the gap widens to almost 4.5 billion kilometers. At this point, the numbers simply get too large. Using standard kilometers to measure these distances is like using a tiny ruler to measure the width of an ocean. We need a bigger tool. This diagram visualizes our new measuring stick, the light year. Instead of tracking kilometers, we track how far a beam of light travels in a single Earth year. Since light races through space at 300,000 kilometers every second, one light year covers immense ground. To see what that means for us, look at our most distant physical explorer. Launched in 1977, the Voyager 1 space probe has been sailing outward for over 4 decades. When Voyager was about 6 billion kilometers away, it turned its camera backward and captured a famous photograph. In that image, Earth appeared as barely a single pixel, a tiny, fragile speck floating in an endless black void. But even Voyager is barely out of the driveway. Our closest neighboring star system, Alpha Centauri, sits about 4.4 light-years away from us. Traveling at 17 kilometers every second, Voyager 1 would need to keep flying for over 70,000 years just to reach those neighboring stars. The physical gap separating our solar system from the rest of the cosmos is incredibly deep. That brings us to the next line in our cosmic address, our city. We live inside a swirling collection of hundreds of billions of stars called the Milky Way. Spanning from edge to edge, this structure is roughly 100,000 light-years across. This diagram shows what astronomers call the human radio bubble. Every time we broadcast a television or radio signal, those waves travel out into space at the speed of light. Over the last century, those signals have created a sphere reaching about 100 light-years in every direction. Look at how that sphere compares to the total size of the galaxy. Our entire modern history, every broadcast we've ever sent out into the dark, is contained inside that microscopic dot. Outside of that boundary, the radio waves simply haven't arrived yet. The overwhelming majority of the stars in our own cosmic city are completely deaf and blind to our existence. As we leave the Milky Way, the scale jumps again. We enter a silent expanse where entire galaxies float alone, separated by immense voids. Our immediate neighborhood out here is the local group. It holds over 50 individual galaxies spread across 10 million light-years of space. This visualization maps out our cosmic state, the Virgo supercluster. In this massive structure, you'll find at least 100 different galaxy groups bound together, containing many thousands of unique galaxies. Zoom out even further and we find our ultimate cosmic country. The Laniakea supercluster spans 500 million light-years. Here, our entire Milky Way is reduced to a single grain of sand, swept up in a gravitational current pulling toward a massive central point. Finally, we reach the absolute edge of our map. The observable universe stretches about 93 billion light-years across. It contains everything we can physically see or measure from Earth. Beyond that border, space itself is expanding outward faster than the speed of light. Whatever galaxies exist out there are retreating into the dark so quickly that their light will never reach our telescopes. We will never see them. So we finally have our full address: Earth, the solar system, the Milky Way, the local group, Virgo, and Laniakea, within the observable universe. Out there is an incomprehensibly large, cold wilderness. It is billions of light-years filled with extreme radiation, wandering rocks, and empty black voids. seeing exactly how small we are against that cosmic backdrop doesn't make us insignificant. It proves that this single, fragile oasis of greens and blues is the most precious thing we have.